OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Outcasted OC, latest podcast coming right at you right now with an NXT Vengeance Day predictions episode. Now, you might be wondering, where's the other members of Outcasted? Well, they don't watch NXT as much as me and Rob.
Nah.
We brought a special guest along with us. We got Paul, obviously avid viewer, NXT watcher, predictor today. How are we doing, mate?
I'm all right. Yourselves?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Ross, how are you doing, dude?
I'm all good, other than being bullied the past half an hour before we got on the live.
I did nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I got to fire you up for the episode, aren't I? Because I'm not being funny. You know, you got the Royal Rumble, you got Elimination Chamber, but we know where the real pay-per-views are at, where the real A brand of WWE is. It's NXT, baby. We've got Vengeance Day. We've got a load of title matches coming at you. The NXT Championship, the Women's NXT Championship, the North American. You know what they do on NXT. So let's get straight into it. Let's go into a non-title match first. We are going to start with, I don't know why this match is even happening, but it is what it is. Eddie Thorpe in a strap match. I mean, why is Eddie Thorpe in a strap match? Why is Eddie Thorpe on a pay-per-view? I don't know. I'm just going to get my thoughts out of this straight away, right?
Yo,
I don't know what Eddie Thorpe is.
catching strays, man.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, Eddie Thorpe is one of the. I can't even get the match out fully. Like, he's so just generic. Like, he's nothing. Like, I don't understand. Like, he used to have like a bit of character towards him when he was fighting Dijak back in the day, and now he's just a bit of a douchebag who like manipulates his way into title matches and then loses said title matches, and now I don't really know what he's doing. So I'm going to go to you first, Paul. Who do you think is winning the strap match?
I've got an idea for this. I'm going to say Trick Williams.
Okay.
Because something's telling me that they're going to stretch it to Stand and Deliver, and Eddie Thorpe's going to beat Trick at Stand and Deliver, and then Trick's going to move up to the main roster.
Okay. I mean, I can see that, to be fair. I mean, Trick Williams has spent so much time on NXT now. It's gotten to the point where he doesn't even really need to be there. He's one of those people who, I think we were talking about this, Ross, last week, where you've got like the cream of the crop in NXT, and like the top just needs to be filtered out and like put up to the main roster, because there's so many people in that brand at the moment that are doing incredible, and like the people that have been there for a couple of years now just kind of need to move out of the way. Like, no offense to any of them, but you know, you don't need to be in their developmental area anymore.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, we had that very much discussion of, for me, the men's side of the roster is really struggling at the moment because there's so much good talent that newer talent has suffered and hasn't hit the same spot. And it's a struggle because there's so much talent that could just go to the main roster. But then there's also the argument of, obviously, I don't like to be that person that's going to go straight to the negative, but recently we had budget cuts of people who were called up to main roster and then got given nothing. So it's a catch-22. They're doing great work in NXT, but they've done so much great work, they should just show it on the main roster. But then there's also the worry of, oh, we're going to do one thing with the main roster. If that don't work, we don't know how we're going to book you for the next several months.
Yeah, they get like completely lost in the shuffle. Yeah,
like and that's something I genuinely fear for Trick Williams, and that's no offense to Trick, but I feel like his gimmick is very much close to how obviously Carmelo Hayes is. That's why their rivalry was the way they were. That's why they were such a good team with each other. Don't get me wrong, Trick has now shown himself and gone on to be that way, but my concern there is, I could see them doing that, going the Stand and Deliver route and then calling him up. But where does that land him? Like, what brand does he go? Would he get lost in that shuffle? Do they actually utilize Trick Williams like someone to be, night after WrestleMania? Do we make him be one of the shock call-ups for Raw? That's what I'd want them to do, but I don't know if they would. It's a worry.
Do you know what? There's a lot of occasions.
Yeah.
I would say WWE kind of forgets what people do in NXT. But for once, I think it might be a good thing when it comes to Trick Williams and maybe even Carmelo Hayes. I would consider putting them back together, maybe on the main roster.
And if they did that, I'm fine with that. I get what you mean by sometimes they just forget the NXT storylines and run it back. Like, obviously, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're now running back the storyline and them two being rivals. Like, we never watched that in NXT, like Black and Gold. We know, we've been through it. But, like, yeah, if they do that, that's probably a better safe chance for Trick, and I hope that's where they go with it.
Okay. So, well, with that in mind, who do you think's winning the match?
Eddie Thorpe. And the reason why I think Eddie Thorpe is going to win is because I think he genuinely needs a win. You can't have this obnoxious asshole of a heel saying that he's been done time after time by the corporation. So we got one up on them to get a title opportunity, and everyone in the business is screwing him. You can't have him lose again, because then it just buries the character of, oh no, you're just that bad. That's how it comes across to me. And Trick's been there, done everything. Trick can afford to lose and put over Eddie Thorpe in this once. And then that's how I think they elongate it out to Stand and Deliver, is because Trick loses there. Trick wants to get the last laugh before he goes. So that's why I see them run it back at Stand and Deliver. So I'm going to say Eddie Thorpe.
I'm down for that.
I get where you're coming from there.
It's just how they've built Eddie Thorpe. I loved the first time he got the title opportunity of him getting jumped and be like, we're still working hard to work out who jumped you and what was happening. He's like, oh, I know who jumped me. It was me. That was pure genius of a storytelling line, because that's rarely ever been done in wrestling. You always have you got beat up. Yeah, no, you get a title opportunity. Sympathetic, like, we're sympathetic to you. Yeah, we'll sort it out for you. But, having the person be like, I was the one who did it to myself. I faked it the whole time. Next level heel tactics. And I loved seeing that. And I feel like that's kind of just slowly gone away since this feud has progressed. So I think Eddie Thorpe needs the win to kind of spark the flame to carry on the feud a bit longer.
Honestly, I think it's gone away because, like, it's kind of like what you said. Like, he's been given really nothing, like, and it's got me questioning why. In that main event scene, like the first time it worked, I get that, because like he was very clever and tactical, and then somehow, even though he lost his opportunity, he stayed in that sort of sphere of like the upper mid card, and it's like, how? Like, you brought nothing to the table.
Yeah, and for me as well, I found it very weird that they threw him into a match with Trick and Ethan Page. And I'm like, you can't really put Ethan Page and Trick against Eddie Thorpe. Like, no offense to Eddie Thorpe, but like, we've not seen enough of you in ring to even think that's viable, that you could go toe to toe with these boys.
Yeah.
That's how I saw that the first time they booked him. I was like, okay, if they're going an underdog story angle, then I get it. But it didn't. It just came across as I'm an obnoxious heel. I've found a way to cheat myself in here, and now I'm going to get my ass beat because I underestimated everyone because I think I'm better. And it's like, there was already one heel. You didn't need Eddie Thorpe being the other heel in that match.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's very true, to be fair. Yeah. I'm gonna err on the side of Trick Williams in this match. Just because I kind of agree with what Paul's saying. Maybe Eddie Thorpe gets put over at Stand and Deliver because obviously he's staying in NXT, whereas Trick Williams is probably going to go up to the main roster this year. If you're going to try and build up a talent, maybe do it on the best stage. Stand and Deliver is obviously like their WrestleMania, isn't it? So I'm gonna go with Trick Williams, and like round 2 is probably going to be Eddie Thorpe at Stand and Deliver. I mean, I don't know. It's so hard for me to get invested into this match.
Yeah,
it's so difficult. You mentioned someone else who's having a match before us. Let's move on to that match. We have got All Ego Ethan Page taking on that boy who is Bouncy, the young OG, Javon Evans. Ross, I'm going to go to you. Number one, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Do you think this has potential to be match of the night? And 2, and who do you think is going to win?
Like, hands down match of the night. There's nothing beating that. I'm sorry, you're giving me one of the greatest character work wrestlers from TNA, and he got shortchanged in AEW, came to NXT, instantly got given a belt, gave him his flowers because they knew how damn good he is. Like, the fact he had a promo against The Rock, and why are people still underestimating Ethan Page? Like, have you not seen what this man does? He makes fucking cinema. He is so good. Like, and also Javon Evans is just a fucking badass. Like, one of the coolest high flyers, a young 20-year-old who just, everything this kid does, insane. And I really like the story angle, the whole wired the mouth with the jaw, that extra level of like brutality that Ethan Page has been doing. I can't say it wouldn't be match of the night for me. And I have to say it, I really don't want to go against him because it's my boy, but I think Javon Evans is winning.
I'm down with that. I mean, strap the rocket to that boy because like
that's what I'm saying. For me, this is the quickest way to instantly put him back in the relevant scene, put a rocket on him, and push him. He beat someone who was a former world champion. He finally shut up the guy who bullied him and took him out for months with the wired jaw. The amount of times he's been hit while he's still got the jaw wired as well because they don't care. And I think it gives opportunity for then Javon Evans to start going for other guys who keep talking a lot of smack. Like, I'd love to see a Javon Evans versus Wesley. I'd love to see a Javon Evans go against like the Rascals with the TNA collaboration. I'd love to see those opportunities come out of it. And I think this is the way you do it. Give him that win, he'll skyrocket up.
I wouldn't mind seeing Javon Evans versus Slater from TNA. To be fair,
that would be Leon Slater versus Javon Evans is like a dream match for me. I've said that like as soon as they announced the TNA collab, the first two matches I turned around and said I wanted Rascals versus Fraxion, which I got very fucking quick in, by the way. And then I also said I wanted Javon Evans and freaking like Leon, because Leon's one of my hometown boys. That's one of my guys. So I got big respect for Leon.
I think it's a bit late to start pushing Ethan Page. I think they'll probably wait till after WrestleMania now because ever since he lost the championship, he's kind of been spinning his wheels a little bit. But with Javon Evans, obviously they're doing this injury angle with him, but he's been pushed ever since he came on TV. Really, he's been doing very, very well, and the crowd seem to resonate with him. He's very good at just cutting a promo where he just seems like like a normal person. Like he's very relatable, and he's entertaining, and he's great in the ring. Like he can only get better and better and better, that boy, and you can tell the company are really high on him, just because of the positions that they keep putting him in. But what about you, Paul? Who do you think's coming out the winner?
I think after watching NXT last night, because Javon had to sign that waiver, I've got a feeling this could turn into an unsanctioned match.
Oh,
I mean,
Javon signed that because he signed that waiver, so he's no longer WWE are no longer liable for him. So could it turn into an unsanctioned match?
I wouldn't mind it. I like a unsanctioned / maybe falls count anywhere. I wouldn't mind that.
Possibly, kind of like Gargano and Ciampa had a few years back.
Yeah.
So it's not really an unsanctioned. It's a lights out match is what you're referring to. It's one that doesn't go on the books. No real ref there. Literally, the ref's whole job is to just count if a free pin happens. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, but I'm with you.
Yeah,
I was a bit torn on this match, but after what you said, I'm going to say Javon. But I wouldn't be against either man winning.
That's what I'm saying. For me, either man winning, I'm fine with, but I feel like it's Javon's time.
I do feel like it's Javon's time. I mean, if Ethan Page
winning NXT much longer.
If Ethan Page does win this match, I think it's a case of we're probably going to have like a part 2, maybe even a part 3 to this. With Javon Evans, I think by the end of the year we're probably going to be seeing him holding a championship, maybe even the NXT championship. I can definitely see him putting that belt on him. I don't know if it beats Obafemi for it, but I think he definitely holds a singles title in NXT before he moves up to the main roster. Yeah, 100%.
I could see that as well. I like that as a way of booking it for sure.
Yeah, man. We're gonna go to the I'm actually quite looking forward to this match, to be fair, because I think they're both great workers. We're going to go to the women's North American title match. We're going to go to Stephanie Baker versus Fallon Henley. I'm excited for this match, and I think it's because like Fallon Henley's really coming to her own in the past couple of months. Like ever since she's turned heel, I thought she was great as a babyface, but she's kind of just got on this edge to her. And now that she's with Fatal Influence, who has a really good theme song, by the way. Say what you want about Def Rebel. Yeah, they actually do have a really good theme song.
All these budget cuts and still couldn't get Def Rebel gone.
I know, right? The release of the century. I think the fact that Fallon Henley has that championship really shows that the company have a lot of trust in her, and she's really put the work in backstage in NXT to get to that level. Because I think we all thought JC Jane was going to be like the head of that group, and she's kind of the mouthpiece. But Fallon Henley's really taking the reins, no pun intended. She has really
I like that.
She's honestly like the best worker in that squad. I mean, all three of them are great. Jasmine, not Jasmine Nix. Is it Jasmine Nix? Yeah,
that's the other one.
Yeah, Jasmine Nix. She's really good for someone who's not been wrestling for very long. Obviously, JC Jane, we know what she can do. But Fallon Henley, like I said, he's like the solid worker. And going against someone like Stephanie, it's going to be a great match. I think they should give it a bit of time, at least 10 minutes. I think they can put on a really good match. I'm going to give my thoughts of who I'm going to win, and then I'll move on to you guys. I think maybe Stephanie Vaquer is going to be winning this match. I think it's going to be one of those where either Julia or Stephanie's going to be like retaining or winning a championship, and I think Stephanie, like, if she doesn't win this match, I'm not really sure where she goes from there, because if she loses, then why would that put her in contention for the Women's World Championship? Or if she, do you know what I mean? But if she wins, then she's got a title herself. So I'm not really sure what they're going to do there, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna say Stephanie Vaquer, because I think you should capitalize on her popularity, on the fact that she's a new talent, and bring her into the North American Championship scene as the champion. It'll also give the opportunity for maybe Fatal Influence to have a bit of infighting, or for maybe JC Jane to go after Stephanie for the championship to show Fallon that she can do it better than her. But yeah, I think it's just an interesting scenario. But Paul, who do you think is going to win this match?
I think Fatal Influence is definitely JC and Jasmine definitely going to get involved at some point.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to cost Fallon the title. I'm going for Stephanie.
Oh right, okay.
I think they're going to get involved and they're going to get ejected from ringside, and that's when Stephanie's going to hit their finisher.
That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, now that you say that, I mean, it also wouldn't surprise me if it all just ended up in a fucking messy DQ where like Zarya and Sol Ruka come out to fight the rest of the Fatal Influence, and it all just turns into like a massive
yeah.
But it wouldn't surprise me if that happened.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm going for Stephanie.
I'm glad someone else would go for Stephanie. I thought it was going to be like this.
Especially after the pop she got when she appeared in the Rumble.
Yeah, she really did get a big pop, didn't she? I was very surprised, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not saying like she's like an unknown talent, but I'm surprised that many people in the arena knew who she was.
Yeah.
Because she isn't exactly like, I don't know how to say this in the most respectful way. She isn't on the A list of free agents when she first got signed. I mean, she was known to people who watch wrestling, but you've got a lot of casuals in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got a lot of casuals in that audience that only watch WWE. So I'm surprised that there was a lot of people that knew who she was. Like, but yeah,
I hadn't heard of her until she had that match at Forbidden Door against Monet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. See, this is what I mean. Like, I was aware of who she was when she was in a CMLL.
CMLL.
Yeah. I'd not seen any of her work, and then I saw that match. And then she had a couple of other matches that I saw, and then she got signed to NXT. So I've not really been exposed to much of her work, but from what I've seen, I really like her. Ross, I'm assuming you've seen a lot more of her work than we have.
Yeah. She was like multi-time, went over to Stardom, had matches against Julia. So you know how NXT played into the whole thing of their friends from abroad? No, They were like arch enemy rivals. They kick the living shit out of each other in Stardom. Arguably one of the strongest hard-hitting women's match in Stardom in a long time. So when you were like, a lot of people don't really know her, Stephanie Vancourt got a name on IWC very damn quickly because people put out the factor of this woman kicked the living shit out of people. I get what you mean by the casual fans.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, yeah.
But like even then, I think we're in such an age of the internet of you see a name potentially signed on dirt sheets, people are going to look them up. So a lot more people are going to pop at Rumble when they see that person because they're like, oh, we looked up that person because there was rumors they might. It's the same for Julia. Julia got a massive pop and barely anyone knew Julia in that situation. Like no one realized Julia is like a multi-time champion in Japan. They were just, oh, she's a Japan overseas talent has now come to NXT. I'm like, no, she was the it girl of Stardom. She was multi-time Stardom champion. Made her own damn faction. And that's not a usual thing in Stardom, by the way. When you join Stardom as a Joshi wrestler, you usually line up and you'll go to one of these groups that are already pre-established, that were established years ago. They make their own offshoots and their own subgroups, but Julia was one of the first ever people, other than Io Sky, actually, which is really funny, to make their own kind of subgroup and make it like as big and then make it their own like actual faction. And it's one of those where I think Stephanie coming out at the Rumble puts a very good spotlight on her, but I still think she can lose at NXT and it won't hurt her. Because personally, Fallon Henley needs to hold this belt longer. Because I don't want, and this is no offense to Kalani Jordan, I don't want the belt to keep having short runs. Kalani held it for a short time. I don't want Fallon Henley to hold it for a short time. I don't want the title to have this whole legacy of the people can't hold it for long enough.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I agree. I wouldn't be mad if Fallon Henley retained. No, I think she's doing really well. Going to the long title point that you made, I think if anyone is going to hold that title for a long time, it'd be Stephanie if she gets it. That wouldn't surprise me if she had like a really long run.
But I don't think now is the time. I'd rather her see it get another opportunity at Stand and Deliver. I think the opposite of what Paul said. I think Fatal Influence are going to get involved. Sol Ruka and Zarya are going to get involved. One of them is going to cost Stephanie Vancourt. Like, Stephanie Vancourt will get a free count in the sense of she's knocked her out, but the referee's going to get taken out in some way, or the referee's going to get distracted. And then
ref bump.
Yeah. It'll be a ref bump in some way. And then obviously Stephanie will be holding, and it would have been like the whole crowd doing the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll be like, cool, that's how she's lost. Then Fallon will get a roll up or something, a very heel tactic way of winning. And then it will lead into a build where the storyline still is, well, I did have you beat, so I'm going to have another opportunity, and I'm going to do it on an even bigger stage. How about Stand and Deliver?
I like that.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
That's what I'm saying. This is just my way of booking NXT, because Stephanie Vancourt is such an incredible talent that if I was a head booker, I'd be like, yeah, you could make a world champion, have her hold it for half a year, and she would hold down the fort. She knows what she's doing. Yes, her English isn't perfect, but it is stronger than a lot of other talent that have recently came in. And that's one thing that will put her above other people. Yes, she's got a very strong accent, but she can still hold English promos. And that's a thing as well. A lot of people can't be champions because they can't speak English. Okay, but Julia's now champion. Asuka was a previous champion. So was Shinsuke. Language barriers need to just be ignored. If you're good at your job, you should be rewarded and put into storylines that reward you for being good at your job. That's what a belt is for. It's to show you are the person we are putting the faith into.
Well, there's been people over the years that have even spoke English but they've given him a mouthpiece just because.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the whole if you can't cut a promo then you shouldn't be pushed or anything like that. I think that's a load of rubbish. Don't get me wrong, like being able to cut a promo is a big part of wrestling, but it's more about aura and like character and
Exactly.
performance. Like if you're good on the mic, then fair play, you're good on the mic. Roman Reigns is great on the mic, but they still get Paul Heyman to come out and speak more than he does. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say, take like other wrestlers, like take Andrade, incredible in the ring, but because he struggled with his mouth, struggled with the language barrier, he got a perfect mouthpiece in Zelina Vega. Like, and that's
the best match she's ever done, and that's done her loads of favors.
Exactly.
If anything, I'm not being funny. Like I think Zelina should go back to being a manager. I mean, I'd like her in the ring, but I think she's great with Andrade.
I would like it, and this is what I thought they were going to do with Elektra Lopez before all that happened. I would like it if they gave her wrestling opportunities to go against the women talent that have also talked smack to Andrade and everyone, and then still let Andrade do his stuff. So manage Andrade's matches, but then she's also got women's matches.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Especially because the builds, for me personally, it didn't make sense. You had builds of like you had Street Profits with BFAB. You had you had Street Profits with BFAB. You had obviously Las Garza with Elektra Lopez. You had Michin with obviously AJ Styles' crew at the time. So you had all these like manager, like also women in their factions that could have gone against each other, and it made logical sense. But they never did.
No,
I can get down with that. In terms of Stephanie McCall, like and Stand and Deliver, do you think they're gonna go for the big main event of Julia versus Stephanie for the title?
Yes.
Ooh,
yeah. I think that plays into
it. If Fallon retains and they don't do the Fallon angle that I mentioned about going into Stand and Deliver where it'll be Fallon and Vakor, I definitely can see it going Julia Vakor, because that is one that they keep teasing, and there's only one major place really to do that, and that is Stand and Deliver, to be honest.
I'd really like to see that, actually.
I will say one thing. There is a special episode of NXT, Roadblock. Is a special episode of NXT.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
but the problem I have with that is, would you put that high level of a match on just a special? I feel like you would end up putting that on the pay-per-view where all the crowd are going to be watching it, especially if it's the night before Mania.
It's literally a couple of hours before night one.
That's what I'm saying. This is the point I always make with this, is that you have the show and it's just before Mania. Everyone's going to go watch it because it's something to put on while you wait for Mania. Because you're not going to fucking watch a pre-show. Let's be real. Who really sits down and goes, can't wait to watch 2 hours of the pre-show before Mania?
2 hours of
yeah, we don't. When it used to be matches beforehand, you would. So I'm sorry. If NXT's on before and I can watch NXT to cut down my hours to know that I've got Mania coming up next, I'm going to go watch NXT straight up. And if they're going to put matches on like that, trust me, my ass is in my seat. I'm watching the whole damn thing. If you're putting it on a special, I could be like, oh, I'll watch it in the morning, which is not me saying a bad thing. I'm just saying I think more eyes would be on it because of it being closer to Mania instead of being on a special.
I think you've changed my mind, by the way. I think I kind of want to go for Fallon Henley to win this match now. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't mean it to be like that. I'm not trying to persuade you guys. I'm just giving like I've really sat down.
It's a good point. You're making good points.
Yeah, I've really sat down and thought about Vengeance Day because I'm very much like how you are, Rhys. I'll sit down and I will just consume NXT because I enjoy a lot of it. But where storyline and angles come, NXT always like to swerve us. So I always kind of give that. I'm half giving you fantasy booking because I would love to see it. But also, because of how NXT is, I feel like that's plausible as well.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I agree. So, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I will say Stand and Deliver starts at 7 o'clock our time.
Oh, that's that's perfect.
Oh, that is really nice. Yeah, I like that. What the hell?
Good. Yeah. Wait, that means we only get like 45 minutes before it goes into Mania. Because I'm pretty sure Mania starts at 11 this year.
Do you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Like, that gives you the bit of time to maybe go have a shower or whatever, or maybe go get some food, order it in, get some drinks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, that's us just ending one stream to get ready for the next stream if we're live.
Yeah, for real.
To it.
Yeah, the hilarious thing is it's Easter weekend.
Oh yeah, I know. Me and G worked this out that I genuinely don't have to book any time off for this Mania. I can just stay at home, and it's perfect.
That's great, isn't it? It's so good.
Honestly, it's the best feeling because me and Keaton obviously both watch pay-per-views together. But if it's certain pay-per-views that we know it's going to be a 2-day one, I usually give it him. I'll say, "Yo, you book it off. I'll suffer the night," because obviously, with his sleep and stuff, it's a lot worse for him than it is me. But knowing we've both got it off, we were like, "Hey, yo, let's go. We ain't got to stress about work. We ain't got to worry about going in the next day. We could just chill."
Fairs, man. Yeah, fairs.
Yeah.
But you know what? Before we get into the final 3 matches, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it, right? What do we all think of the big debut that happened on NXT this week? We had the Revolution will be televised. Ricky Stark showing up in NXT this week. I'm gonna go to Ross first with his thoughts. What did you think, mate?
All I'm gonna say is Kendrick Lamar said it on the Super Bowl. He said the Revolution is about to be televised. What he didn't mean was his Super Bowl performance. He meant the next night over when it was NXT and Ricky Starks rocked up. Sorry, I'm
here, aren't I?
I'm gassed. I love Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks was one of the highlights for me for AEW. I loved how quick and rebuttal he could be back in promos. Him going against Edge when he weren't even meant to be going against Edge. He was meant to be going against Bryan Danielson, and he was cooking Edge at the same time. I'm just like, yo.
Oh, the promo. I saw them promos. They were
exactly.
Brilliant.
Ricky Starks' promo game is incredible, and his ring work is incredible. Him as freaking FTW. That was it. FTW champion, and him as tag champion as well with freaking Big Bill.
Big Bill, yeah.
Big Bill, yeah. I loved all of that work. So knowing the fact of AW just kind of sat there and were like, "Oh, we're not really going to do anything with you," sucked. It sucked to be a fan of him because I'm like, bring him back. I understand there was this whole debacle of, he didn't like the creative. But if it was whack, then a wrestler can...
Yeah, you can't blame him, yeah.
Yeah, if he knew it was going to be whack and he knew the next couple of months were going to be bad and he was like, "Nah, I'm all right not doing that," you should have wrote something new for him to engage with him. This is the thing that annoys me. AEW likes to praise itself on letting wrestlers have their creative input. So if you're telling me they're allowed their creative input, why, when Ricky Starks said he didn't like what the creative gave him, that they didn't take his pitch of what he said he would have enjoyed doing? Like, obviously there's limitations. He can't just sit there and go, "I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to pitch myself to go against this person. I'm going to win because that's what you need to do because that's what's best for business." If you're that type of guy, then I understand. I can understand a company being like, whoa, that don't quite work the way you want it to. But like, if he said like, "Oh, I've got this really interesting storyline. I think this feud could work. I don't really like the feud you gave me. I don't think me and that wrestler mold well together." I'd love to be a fly on the wall to know what these creative discussions were because I'm sorry, you're telling me you couldn't find something for arguably this next generation's freaking Rock. Like, I'm putting him on that level of a fucking pedestal. That's how much I respect Ricky Starks. I think he is that level of can be that good, can be that entertaining, can be that quick on a mic. Him coming up to NXT, perfect.
With that being said, are you surprised that he went to NXT and not the main roster?
No, I'm not. And the reason why you're probably not going to like my take on this, or you might. I don't know. Someone else did that, and they didn't do very good when they did that. And Miss Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
And we got to remember, Jade Cargill was being put on TV every damn week for 8-minute matches. Ricky Starks was being put on TV for proper matches, but then has also had a year out. So he's now got to train up on WWE style, get all the ring rust gone. NXT is a perfect place for him, especially because his whole gimmick now, he's the future of superstars. So him doing that, you go to the brand where it makes the future talent. It makes sense to me. It's the same as Ethan Page. Like, Ethan Page went there, and it was interesting how they did that, because obviously him being called All Ego, you would expect him to go straight to the main roster, being like, oh, look, I didn't even need NXT. I could just walk into your promotion. But no, him doing NXT to show I could take myself to the beginner guys, beat all the beginner guys, work my way up like all of you did, and show how sick I am, worked for him. And I feel like that's how they're going to do Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've just thought of a particular match that we could have. Ricky Starks versus Tony D at Stand and Deliver for the North American title.
Yeah. I would like it.
It just popped into my head. I was like,
Give me that.
That could be a banger.
It would be a banger.
Ricky Starks versus Tony D. Yeah.
Tony D is a very underrated in-ring performer as well, in my opinion. I think he's very smooth. He's fast and powerful.
Oh yeah, I will say one thing. I thought Vic Joseph was going to swear. They genuinely did not know. I don't think they knew.
It was very close. It was
very close. He was about to say, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. Well, even Ricky Starks, I thought he was about to swear, because he was just like, "It's obvious, y'all know who I am." It's like he hesitated because I was really he was about to go, "Y'all obviously know who the fuck I am." Like, I expected that.
Big question on everyone's minds after seeing that is he going to be called Ricky Starks? I mean, I think he is going to be called Ricky Starks. But you got to take into account that WWE recently just filed a copyright request for 12 new names for like incoming talent. I don't know if some of them are going to be Evolve guys or LFG guys.
I was going to say it's actually most of them are the LFG guys, because this is going to be one that's actually going to make you guys perk up and be quite interested. One of the LFG ones that they showed as a teaser. He was on the previous show that they did, which was the reality show where they went through the whole training camp to get an opportunity to work under NXT. No, it was like a reboot of Tough Enough. They did it last year. I can't.
Was it Breaking Ground? Is it called?
Something like that. Yeah, it was like they basically built up all these new guys. They would do a training camp. They would do 6 weeks solid of just doing performance center training. And then each week, people would get eliminated until you were the final lot, and you would get your final call saying, right, you've either got a developmental contract or you don't. And some of the guys there have now been put on this LFG show to try and still build them up, but do it. One of the guys that's been, that group of 4 that are being teased at the end of NXT and coming up at Vengeance Day. One of those guys is one of the wrestlers that won that Breaking Grounds thing and got an NXT contract. He's one of the guys.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. I watched the teaser and I was like, I remembered this dude, and I remember hating this dude, and he started beefing with like Bubba. Is it Bubba Ray? Yeah, Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
And I was like, I started liking this dude because he's beefing with Bubba now. Fuck that guy.
You got to have a bit of backbone to you, so fair play, especially like shouting with a guy like Bubba.
Nah, bro, it weren't even backbone. It was like it's on site. I'll fuck you up, Bubba type of energy, and I'm like,
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That's fucking cool. I'm looking forward to the LFG, and I'm looking forward to seeing this, like, let's say, the new crop of talent coming up. And I am excited to see Ricky Starks. Like I said, I fell off AEW a little bit in the past year or so, just because I think sometimes it feels a bit directionless. But like, I've always admired Ricky Starks. all the guys that have just recently been released from the contracts, like Miro, for example. I'm excited to see if he's going to re-sign with WWE.
It was
but
called
guys,
Next Gen. Sorry, I just double checked it. It was called WWE's Next Gen that came out last year.
right, okay. Yeah, all right, that's cool then. Yeah, well, at least they're all still signed and they're all like they're hopefully going to get utilized. But we've still got 3 more matches to talk about for Vengeance Day. We're going to go into the NXT Tag Team Championship match. We're going to go for the champions Nathan Fraser and Axiom taking on the team of Josh Briggs and will someone say his name for me because I don't know how to say it.
Yoshikiri Inamura.
That's the one.
It's Inamura. Yeah, Yoshikira Inamura.
All I know is he hits really hard and he looks really cool. And yeah.
He's a big brute.
He is a big brute. Ross, I'm going to go to you. Who do you think is going to win and why?
Not Fraxium. I want them broken up. I want Fraxium to finally have that beef between each other. It's 1 week you're a team, next week you're not. Next week you're a team, next week you're not. Just fucking either get your shit together and stay like comfortably good, like how the New Day did for several years, or just break the fuck up and feud with each other. I'm bored of it now. Like, you guys are good in the ring together. You're a solid tag team, but I'm sick of every other couple of weeks. Let's tease a breakup scenario. You're running it to the ground.
Yes, mate. Oh, I totally agree with you on that. And
I also would just want to point out, I think Josh Briggs deserves to have his flowers. He had a rough break away from Fallon Henley and that group of 3 too. I really feel he's come back out on his own turf again, found a new tag partner, and it's been working for him. So I'd like to see that. Has Rhys cracked?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. You froze for a hot minute, Rhys.
Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I disappeared then. I think Josh Briggs had a good start to last year, and then he kind of just disappeared a little bit.
Yeah.
No, he has for us.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Did it freeze again?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
I forgot that. Point is, I think it's going to be a good match. Okay. I don't know if Fraction are going to break up. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think they're going to be losing. I think they'll save that for Stand and Deliver.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I didn't know if it was got froze again then.
No, it was delayed a couple of seconds for me. You didn't freeze this time.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's good then. That's good.
Oh, there you go. You're now back to normal for me. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Paul, thoughts on this?
This is the one I haven't really thought about, but I'm going to go for Fraxium because I think there's other teams that could go up against. So many people teasing them Fraxium against the Hardys. Do we get that at some point?
I don't want it.
I don't think. I would say Fraxium winning that match if it ever happened, but I'm going for Fraxium. But like you said, give Josh Briggs his flowers. I mean, he had that banger. Was it Dijak and Oba?
Yeah, Dijak him and Oba. Yeah,
that was a bang. That was a banger. But I think
it was fantastic.
He will get the tag. He will get a title again. I just don't think it's that day.
I honestly think these 2 lads will get the tag team titles at some point, but I just think Fraction are coming on top. I mean, I gave him tag team of the year last year, and I don't think they were very good, apart from being in the ring. But I couldn't think of any other tag team that was as consistent as them, like full time last year in WWE. So I gave it to them. But I think they're fantastic in the ring. I just don't like Nathan Fraser on the mic. I hate him on the microphone. And A-Kid or Axiom, whatever, could be doing other stuff by himself. I do think in this situation, though, they're probably going to be holding the tag team titles until Stand and Deliver.
I think so as well. They're going to lose it. Go on, Ross.
Also, I've now completely realised who Yoshiki Inamura is. Now that I've sat down and actually looked at him properly, he's actually like a veteran from Pro Wrestling Noah. Like he's like a powerhouse unit in Noah. It's because his gear is completely different. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. That's what he looks like in fucking Noah. Hence why I didn't
totally
recognize
different.
him.
Totally different.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah,
why I
that is.
didn't
Yeah.
recognize him. He's got in Noah, he had like a full mohawk and everything.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, because I obviously like the first thing I asked was Ross. I was like, "Do you know who he is?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
You ribbed him for that.
I know, right? Well, he should have
I'm
known him
more
if he
annoyed.
didn't before.
I'm more
Now you need
annoyed.
to
I
apologise,
do
Bruce.
actually know him. I did
Now you need to
actually know him.
apologise,
I
Rhys.
just didn't recognize him.
I refuse to apologize. He should have known him. He should have recognized him.
Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah,
No, it's on me.
I think Fraxium will lose at Stand and Deliver in a multi-team
Yeah.
match, like a
I
tag
do-
turmoil or gauntlet.
I do think this match has the potential to be match of the night now. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
Who would you say in that multi-man then? If we're saying we're going Stand and Deliver for Fraxium to lose, who would you actually put to be the NXT Tag Champs?
Briggs and Imora. I think they'll still win.
I would-
but I just
yeah.
don't think they'll win.
You just don't think they'll. So you're still saying the same team, but you're saying move that to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Okay, that's valid. No, that's valid. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I still think they'll win. Yeah.
I think the only other team I could genuinely probably see win it would be if they bring Gallus properly back and start pushing them a bit more. That's the only.
Where have they been?
I mean, OTM as well. OTM.
The problem I have with OTM is that they've not really built them as consistent winners lately, and they've really only been focusing on obviously one member of OTM. We don't need to say much more of that.
Well, yeah.
And so the tag team is just kind of dead because they're like, oh yeah, we've got that other member of OTM and we're just going to push her to the moon because like everyone likes her apparently. And he's crashed again.
I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, whenever you see me like freeze, guys, just carry on talking. I don't know what's going on with me.
Yeah, I just find it more funny. I used to get the flack for crashing all the time, and I haven't watched this whole podcast.
I think this is the first time this has ever happened to me.
Yeah, genuinely, it is.
Yeah, weird.
It's crazy.
The internet's usually really good. But yeah, I'm high on Briggs at the moment. I think he really does deserve like a chance, like you guys have said.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I am going to go with Fraxium though. But we have got two more champions.
That just threw me off because you were like, I'm really happy with Briggs' work and I really respect him. But Fraxium, they're gonna.
You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I can't let my heart guide my decisions. All right.
No, I get that.
Let's go to the NXT Championship. Obafemi defending on what he called a handicap match against A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This is going to be a really interesting match. I'm interested to see if the hype is real and the feuding is real, and if they're actually going to like fight each other, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, get in the way, or they were just acting it up to see what Oba's reaction was going to be. And Obafemi, I just hope he destroys them both. But Paul, we're going to go to you first. Who do you think's going to win, and what do you think's going to happen?
I think Oba. It's got to be Obafemi. I think he's not going to just pin one of them. Roman Reigns, I think it was WrestleMania 37, where he pinned both Edge and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, he's the greatest moment of all time. Greatest WrestleMania moment ever.
Shut up. I think he's going to do something like that. He's going to pin them both. But I think they are genuinely teasing the breakup between Theory and Waller.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know who they're going to keep heel. Because Austin Theory is not a good.
I think if you're going to do it that way, you've got to keep Waller as the heel.
Honestly, I would keep them both heel, like because I don't think Austin Theory is a very good babyface. I'm not going to lie. And Grayson Waller doesn't play a good face. I've never seen him as a face, but I don't want to see that. But Austin Theory's only been a good babyface when he's been with the Way, and the Way aren't around at the moment.
Even then, they turned heel, didn't they?
Well,
yeah, eventually.
The Way was more designed to be heel to begin with, but they all were like, wow, you're the newest group. We want you to be a babyface to get over. And then you start being heels because then the whole team, everyone who was starting to get
Well,
behind you has now turned on you.
They were over. They were kind of like the New Day. Like they were over because they were so
Yeah.
funny and just being idiots. It's like
Yeah.
I remember when
Yeah.
Austin Theory walked into William Regal's office and Scarlett was sat there and he was like, "Whoa, were those real?" And she was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh, what? Are those real? I've never seen nails like that." And everyone obviously thought that he was
Like,
talking about it.
Yeah, we all
Yeah.
knew what he was actually looking at.
Yeah.
There was no hiding that from Austin. There was no hiding it. We all
No.
knew what he was looking at. We all look the same, mate. Anytime
Yeah.
Scarlett's on screen, that's what we're doing. Oh, he's crashed.
There we go.
Oh no, he's gone. We've lost.
Now,
him.
Grayson
follow
Waller.
it.
Grayson
follow
Waller is
it.
kind of like Dominic for me.
Really?
They're
Okay.
much better heels.
See, I understand that and agree with that, but I think Austin Theory had a good argument to be a babyface in this situation. Because like how Grayson Waller was being like, "Oh, nothing's getting in the way. I was this close to actually getting a title," and and flexed on him the whole fact of, "I grabbed us the tag belts. You should be thanking me." Whereas Austin Theory very bluntly went, "Well, I never won a belt in like my whole time in NXT. I never got a championship." And part of me felt the way Austin delivered that promo, I was like,
Yeah.
he's the most babyface out of all three here, because all three of them are quite heel. Like, Obafemi is more like a betweener, I would say, because Obafemi is more being a betweener because it's the conflict between the, well, I am the champion, I am now the leader of NXT, you will obey me type of character he has.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, man knows how to throw his weight around, so sometimes it can come across like he's underestimating anyone.
I sure as hell wouldn't want to take a powerbomb from him.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Fall from Gracie's finisher.
Yeah, I'm good. I would not. I'd be like,
no.
Right, I'd just be like, right, can you just super kick me like twice, and I'll just take it because you got big ass feet. I'll say that's how you finished me, not the fucking actual finisher, because that would kill me. But like, yeah, it's crazy where this storyline's going, because like, A-Town Down Under's been with us for like nearly 3-4 years now.
Yeah, they have been rocked.
They've rocked with us for a while, especially because they were the inaugural first new tag belt champions as well.
Yeah, they grabbed the SmackDown titles at Mania.
Yeah, when they brought the SmackDown ones. Yeah,
right. Obafemi is 6'6" and 22 stone.
I'm good. I'm not taking a 6 foot power bomb.
6'6".
Yeah, the fact you can lift me, my height, and then some more, I'm good.
Are you talking about Obafemi?
Yeah. We were saying about Obafemi's like fall from grace finisher is not a finisher we'd want to take.
Oh hell no! It's like the pop-up powerbomb on steroids.
That's what I'm saying, like, bro. The fact that if you could pop me over my height limit and then further, I'm good.
Right? Yeah.
Not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me, brother. I'll do the fucking Hulk Hogan. I'll be like, that's a shoot, brother. That's not gonna work.
Yeah,
dude, you're telling me.
6'6", 22 stone.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But
I just want to see him versus all the beefy boys, man. I want to see him versus Gunther. I want to see him versus McIntyre. I want to see him versus
Bronson Reed. When he comes
back. Jacob Fatu versus Obafemi.
Bring Miro back, and I'll take a Miro match against him. All I'm gonna also say, Braun Strowman versus him. I'd definitely be happy to see that, because that'd be really fucking cool.
I kind of want to see Omos versus him actually as well.
Yeah, no, you know what? Yeah. And you know how you got this TNA deal? Fucking bring Moose over, bro.
Oh yeah, Moose. Oh yeah. Dude, just like get Obafemi to do like the Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant spot on Omos. Be sick.
Yes.
He just body slams him.
But yeah, as I was gonna say, while you disconnected there, I'm in the agreement with you guys. I still think Oba's gonna win, But out of everyone in that promo, I still felt like Austin had slightly more babyface than anyone. And the way
he definitely did, yeah.
Yeah, the way he just delivered the line.
The way he was looking.
It's the way he delivered the line of, or you'll do what? Like, he still put out the factor of, like, look, I made the whole argument saying how I will back you and I will help you get close to getting this title, but I also want the title. So don't get it twisted. It'll be you either get it or I'm getting it because I'm helping you get it. And then the fact of Grayson Waller's like, no one's going to get in my way. It's like, okay, so fuck me then. That's how it felt for Austin. Austin was just like, okay, fuck me then. Like, what did I say?
It was a good babyface position, a good stance to take. I just find it hard to believe that Austin Theory could maintain being a babyface. Like, I just think he's I don't know what's relatable about Austin Theory. He's good looking, he's young, and he's rich. Like, he's like, you know what I mean? He's not relatable. I think he's just too much of being a dick. It's kind of like Randy Orton. He's too good at being a dick.
But it's the same for Grayson Waller. I can't see a babyface Grayson Waller.
No, never, neither can.
Like, never. Because he is the most obnoxious. Like, he's the epitome of, like, Aussie arsehole is the best way of explaining it. Because his accent adds to how he enunciates words and insults people. And it's the tone he also delivers. Like, his promo style, it very much feels like, haha, it's banter with the mate, but no, I actually hate you.
Yeah.
And it works perfectly.
It's like I say, like, I don't think you should turn any of them face. Just put them on different rosters.
Well, that's what I'm saying as well. Like, Obafemi as well, he's not really a baby face. The most baby face he is just the fact that he's your champion now. So he's taking it as, like, I am the leader for the fans. I'm going to defend this belt and defend its honor. That's it. But because he
just wants to fight everybody. Yeah, like, it's just the fact that he's in the ring with A-Town Down Under that is just the automatic babyface.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I was explaining this to Paul as, like, he doesn't come across as a babyface in this situation still because he knows his strength. He called them a handicap match, which is a heel way of cussing someone out, being like, oh, you want to 2v1 me? I don't give a fuck. Like, that's, he's being a heel in the sense of I'm underestimating them because I know I'm better than them. And it, like, that whole promo was a masterclass of how to make heels still do heel promos against each other, and you genuinely don't know who to root for. And it was great. But then also at the same time, you still need to feel like a babyface needs to be involved in there, or the storyline's not going to work as good. You need at least one good guy outcome from it. And I don't feel like Oba's the guy.
No, I think Oba as well. Let's be honest. I think Obafemi's probably holding that title for a long time.
100%. Yeah.
I'd probably say near to the end of the year. To be honest, I don't see him dropping the title to anyone at the moment. I think they definitely want to build him up, give him another year in NXT just to get him finally tuned for the main roster. Because I'm assuming they probably want to get him up there as soon as possible. But he needs. There's a couple of kinks that just need working out. But in terms of how far he's come in a year, Obafemi's performance, like, he's been fantastic, and the fact that he's been on the roster like just over a year now, and he's the longest reigning North American champion of all time, and now he's an NXT champion. Like, it's impressive, and he can cut a great promo.
Especially because he never wrestled before. Like, he never did indies, never did anything like that. His first wrestling matches were NXT with that break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's probably had less than 100 matches in his entire life.
I think he's close to 100 now.
Which is mad, though.
Yeah.
Think about that, though, dude. Like, longest reigning North American champion and NXT champion in less than 100 matches. That's crazy.
Hold on, let me find out. Because
I mean, it's very. I mean, why you research that? I just think it is impressive because, like you say, he's not really been in the wrestling business before that, and he's been a great champion. He was a great North American champion. He had some fantastic matches. We talked about the one with Josh Briggs and Dijak from last year. He had a good match with Ivar. He's had some great matches with Wes Lee, like a smaller opponent, Dragon Lee, another smaller opponent. Like, he can take on all people. And also, he's good at promos. Like, he's very good at promos. Like, for example, I mean, accent actually isn't even his accent. Like he's just good at getting into that character as the ruler of NXT.
He has had a total of 63 matches.
That's insane. That's ridiculous.
63, bro.
And his first match was at a WWE live event under his real name.
Yeah,
Channing,
and he lost to Stacks.
Yeah, Channing Lorenzo defeats Isaac
Doug Basan.
Yeah,
something like that.
And then it changed to Oberfenny when he went against Dante.
Yeah.
Dante Chen.
I mean, he lost to Dante Chen of all people. That wouldn't happen now.
How far has he come?
Bro, Von Wagner beat him. Let's be.
Oi, that's enough. Von Wagner, God bless his soul.
Who?
He likes the brownies and the sausages with the pasta. All right, leave him alone.
Who?
But I love Von Wagner. Shout out Von Wagner and Chase U, the two greatest tragedies in NXT history.
Yeah, you're not right.
But someone to more positive.
Even Zion Quinn beat him at one point.
Oh, fuck Zion Quinn. On to a more positive note, we got the true main event here for the NXT Women's Championship.
They should main event.
It should definitely main event. We've got the champion Julia defending against Roxanne Perez, Bayley, and now Cora Jade, recently added on this week's episode of NXT. Ross, I'm going to go to you with your thoughts. Who do you think's going to win? And do you like the look of this match?
I liked the look of the match when it was a triple threat. You now added Cora Jade. My brain instantly just went, well, Cora Jade's winning now then. I can't unsee Cora Jade winning now. I genuinely can't. Yes, because it's going to be, and I genuinely mean this, this is going to be Roxanne Perez's swan song finish. It will be Cora Jade wins. Her and Roxanne will be constantly beefing, being like, Roxanne will be like, I had the chance. I'm telling you now, watch Roxanne have a 2.5 count. Cora Jade pulls her off and Cora Jade sneaks a 3 count in. I'm telling you now, watch that booking, because what will now happen is Roxanne Perez's swan song. She's gone against Bayley. She's got nothing left to do other than finish some history with Cora Jade. Do it at Stand and Deliver. Them two one last time. Cora Jade retains. Roxanne goes to main roster. That's how I see it. It screws Julia over, but I don't think Julia needs a title personally.
She can you've got me there.
I quite like the thought of it, because Julia as champion is nice, but I think Cora Jade is long overdue some good fortune in NXT. She's had like constant stalls in her career because of the injuries that she sustained. I love her as a character. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers in NXT. Like you say, Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, the good friends. Like she could do the work for her. Put someone over as she goes to the main roster. Roxanne Perez has definitely won me over. Bayley obviously isn't going to win the NXT Women's Championship, but she's there for credibility and she's there to add to that match, which is going to be fantastic. What do you think, Paul?
Over her 2 girls.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Paul? Have you got any other thoughts on that? It sounds like you just kind of nearly changed your mind.
I think Bayley's eating the pin.
Okay.
I think that's the only reason she's in this match. But I'm going to say Julia to win.
Fair.
Because I have a feeling that Cora Jade is beating Masha Slamovich for the Knockouts title.
Okay. Right. Okay.
I think Cora Jade's going to go over to TNA while she has that title, and it's going to be Cora Jade versus Roxanne for the Knockouts title.
I forgot that match was coming up. I genuinely forgot that match was coming up with TNA.
I think she's got a match with Xia Brookside. Is it tonight?
Yeah, that's tonight. I knew that one. I forgot the Slamovich.
I think she's beaten Slamovich.
That's out there, dude. I mean, first of all, that's fucking hell.
I mean, I'm not against it, but you're going against Slamovich. You better fucking hope you win, because if you're not, you better.
I've got a feeling it could happen. It could happen. It's just crazy idea in my head. Put it out
I'm
there.
quite surprised Masha Slamovich isn't signed to WWE by now. I'm not going to lie to you there.
Same, brother. Same.
Regardless, we know like they like big beefy women on the women's roster. Shout out Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax. Fucking add Masha Slamovich to that shit. Fucking hell.
Zarya.
Someone
Daria.
Yeah, Daria. Yeah. I mean,
Don't
you've
forget
got
the surfer Mammy, Sol Ruka as well.
I mean, yeah, Sol Ruka's got really buff recently. To be fair,
I think
Well,
she's
no,
going up. She's coming up soon as well, Sol Ruka.
I don't know about that. I think
Give it another 6 months. I think. Give it another 6-7 months, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
They'll probably want to give her a
that's what I
tag team
think.
title or like a North American title or something first.
Yeah. Cara Jade will be
Um,
Slamovich, and it'll be Cara versus Roxanne for the Knockouts title at Stand and Deliver.
I like that. That's a really good shout. To be fair, I'm down for that.
I like that.
I think this match.
Yeah.
I think this match is going to be quite chaotic. I love Fatal 4-Ways, and like multi-person matches are always great. You've got 4 just incredible talents there. I think this will be Julia's first like really major defense of a championship, and it'll be like a show out party for her to just show the American audience and like the audience that aren't that familiar with her how good she actually is. Obviously, like I said, you got Bayley in there for the credibility, and the fact that she's coming down to wrestle with 2 people that she really likes from the next generation is always great to see. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez going up to the main roster soon and also working one of her heroes. Bayley has got to be a dream come true for her. Cora Jade has got the most to gain from this match. I think they should give her a lot of time to get her stuff in. I think she should look great even in defeat if she loses this match. Cora Jade is staying in NXT for a little bit longer, but I do think Cora Jade is on the up and up in NXT. With that being said, because this women's division is so stacked, like you say, you're going to be losing Bayley after this feud. You're going to be losing Roxanne Perez after this feud. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought up a couple more people from NXT after Stand and Deliver, because that women's roster is just so stacked. I don't think we need quite a lot of women there. Like Jada Parker, for example, I think she's probably coming up. But there is someone that is going to be needed for the NXT women's division, and I think it's going to be a solid champion. That for me is Julia. I think you're probably going to keep the title on Julia for another 6 at least months. I would quite like to see, like we were discussing before, like Julia defended against Stephanie Vaccaro at Stand and Deliver. I think that's a match that everybody would like to see in the IWC, and it would also bring casual fans to show them what them 2 are actually made of. Cora Jade, like we were saying before, like I like the whole TNA pitch that she's going to be winning the Knockouts Championship. That's a good idea. And Roxanne Perez, like you say, she's got nothing to gain from like this match. Like she literally is there. Well, this is like a swan song before Stand and Deliver, which will probably be a last match before she goes up to the main roster. But I am going to go with Julia. I do agree. I think she really needs this victory just to. What's the word? Sort of like establish a title reign and like get it off to a really good start in 2025.
Yeah,
I agree on that. Yeah, like it's difficult because any 4 of these women as well. Like it's another argument you could make. Any 4 of these women, it'd be interesting to see what happens if any 4 of them win. Because like,
oh yeah, I agree. Yeah,
like. If Roxanne Perez wins again, it's like, cool. Where's the story angle? Is that where Cora Jade finally gets fed up, being like, oh, you're always you're always champion, and I'm always just the runner-up, and I'm sick of it. Give me an opportunity against you. I want you to be my mate. Call in a favor and give me a title shot opportunity. That's one way you could do it. As I said with Cora Jade, I think it's going to come into this match. Them 2 are going to realize. And one of them's just going to finally snap and just go for the belt. Even Bayley coming back for NXT a bit just to probably rake in numbers or get people talking about it. I'm still not mad at if she won the belt. And Julia's already shown she's pretty good as a champion, even with barely doing any promos or anything. She's still a very strong, dominant wrestler. So all 4 work, but I don't know. I've just got that gut feeling this is where they'll pull the trigger on Cora Jade.
I mean, I'm down for it. I wouldn't be mad whatsoever.
No, I wouldn't be against it.
I think it's up in the air at the moment in NXT because, like you said, that women's division is so stacked. You got to think about the people who are going up, the people who they've just brought in, they want to establish the people that they've just brought in as soon as possible. You talk about your Zarias, talk about your Stephanies, talk about your your Julias, even Jordan Grace is either coming to the main roster or going to like NXT, which is a bad decision in my opinion. I think she should have gone to the main roster. Like, NXT does not need Jordan Grace.
Doesn't it really doesn't? Yeah.
Yeah, that roster is so packed at the moment. It's just unnecessary. But regardless of that, you want to get the new girls in there and you want to get them established, and this is the perfect way for Julia to do that.
Yeah, you've got Lash and Jakara as well.
Lash and Jakara, like two other people, in my opinion, who don't even need to be on NXT right now. I think they should be defending.
I already thought they were going to be. I already thought they were going to get moved up to Stardom when they just started showing them, like they first showed themselves on there.
I think they should wait for the metaphor, like the rest of them, like Aura Mensa and Noam Dar. I think they should all go up at the same time. I mean, you got like a stable on the main roster like the Judgment Day that look like they're about to implode. The metaphor would fit perfectly into like a Monday Night Raw. Like I think they're great. I love Noam Dar. I think Aura Mensa's a solid hand, and Jakara and Lash especially are like stars in that women's division.
No, I definitely agree on that. It's more like, obviously, as you said, you thought they weren't really needed there. When they started showing them on SmackDown, when they started showing them going for the tag titles more often, and they were showing them going against like Bianca and everything, I was like, okay, they've tested the waters, but like, call them up, like just have them there.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think they should. They should pull the trigger on it.
Like, even unofficially, just constantly have them rock up to SmackDown and do tag matches for SmackDown and NXT until Metaphor is fully back. Once Metaphor's fully back, then bring them all in.
Could see that being a while. I could see that being a while though, because Dar ripped the tendon off the bone in his knee. That was last June. So it's only like 8 months since. So you could see it being maybe after SummerSlam if they can keep them that long.
Or stand and deliver. Like I think it's like a 9-10 month recovery time in it for
around that.
So even if they bring it back for like just promos and not like wrestling, they could be.
Shotzi was out what 10 months, wasn't she? Something like that.
Well, this is what I mean. Like he doesn't have to wrestle. He could just be like the mouthpiece because he's just great.
Yeah, I must admit he comes across so cocky. Noam Dar.
I know he's great though. That's why he's so great.
That's him doing his job.
And then Noam Dar, like them sessions. I can't even remember what his show's called.
Supernova.
Supernova session. Yeah. I think they're great. I think they would work really great on Raw. I think it'd be fun.
I also so I really enjoyed Noam Dar really early on when it was his NXT UK stuff, because there was one promo backstage that every time gets me, is that where he talks about his big shiny boot is gonna kick that bollocks up to Mars, and you just see the guy who's interviewing him just starts corpsing, and the camera picks it up, and Noam's like looked at him like, "Why are you laughing?" Like, it's
why are you laughing?
It's so good. If I can find it, I'll send it you, Rhys, because honestly, it is the greatest promo I've ever seen Noam Dar do.
Yeah, certainly I'd be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, it's so funny.
But yeah, the women's division, like I say, I think Julia deserves to be on top of it. But I mean, in terms of Vengeance Day at all, as like a whole show, I think that should be the main event. Any final thoughts about Vengeance Day, guys? Is there going to be any like impactful moments? Do you think there's anyone going to like show up? Yes. But interferences or anything?
Who's in the new faction they're teasing?
I don't know.
I think it's one of the guys that I mentioned was in that Next Gen. He was like this very much like Olympic Gladian like character before, like super big powerhouse guy. But yeah, it kind of I don't know if it gave you this vibe, but it gave me like a new version of the Shield vibe, especially with like all the war paint and like battle gear everyone had, especially the second. If you watch the second vignette,
the back looked like they were putting masks on or something.
Yeah, they had like visors, their jackets, and all that were there. But also, a lot of them were like black and white tattoo styles, and we all know one person who had that type of gear. I swear to God, if this has just been a secret tease of Malachi Black returning with a new faction of those
That would be
four
cool.
guys. That would be
Oh,
fucking sick.
he could be one of them because one of them's quite tall. He's quite tall.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, everyone didn't think like that, but when I saw the second video package, I was like, these are all like black and white, like tattoo designs, and they've got like one's got like the Illuminati eye, one's got like a full proper like skull mouth and everything. I'm like, these are very like Alistair Black type gear.
It's highly possible. I'm definitely interested to see if they're going to show up. I mean, I think they'll probably show up.
Yeah,
I think they'll probably show up either in the tag match or like the end of the NXT Championship.
Oh, interesting.
If they do show up, that's what I'm saying. But Paul, you've got any final thoughts?
No. It's going to be interesting. If that faction do turn up, it's going to be interesting if they reveal their faces.
Yeah,
they could turn up, but not reveal themselves.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't do that for a couple of weeks.
Tease it a bit more.
Yeah. Like, don't give me it all at the same time. Just, tease.
Give them a promo, but distort their voice.
Okay. Yeah. Like maybe like
a interesting
backstage segment, like when they've got like a little TV or a little camera, they're holding a little camera.
I don't know if you watched TNA back in the day when it was Aces and Eights.
Yeah.
They always had masks on, but slowly they all revealed themselves.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
If they did that sort of thing, have them wrestle masked, then reveal them.
Make it more the Shield, make it less Retribution, and I'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely that.
Retribution was terrible.
Definitely don't make it that.
Thanks, Vince.
Yeah, thanks, Vince. Great idea.
You ruined it so quickly. It was unbelievable.
I mean, was it Slapjack?
Yeah, Slapjack. T-Bar, Mace.
You know, Slapjack is now.
Is it Shane? It was Shane Thorne, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's now he's now tag champion.
Is it?
Whatever he's doing is better than that.
Mace was getting his ass kicked on the Jericho Cruise.
Yeah, Shane Thorne.
I should say Marseille.
Yeah, Shane Thorne. He's currently he's back in TMDK. In New Japan, and they recently were champions.
Oh, brilliant! Good. That's good to know.
Yeah, last time I saw Mace, he was getting his ass kicked on the Jericho Cruise.
Well, that's still better than being in West Virginia.
By Tony Storm, of all people.
Yeah, there you go. He's in the. Oh, you won't be able to see it. Yeah. He's in the middle of the TMDK poster, literally next to. He's there, right next to Zack Sabre Jr.
Nice.
Well,
fun fact.
Well, I'm really looking forward. That's my final thoughts. Is I'm really looking forward to the show. As for the matches, I think the probably ones that are going to steal the show is probably either the tag team match or the women's match, the main event. But yeah, guys, I've enjoyed talking about NXT. There's going to be plenty more NXT podcasts on the channel because we're going to be discussing all of the TNA, not the TNA, fucking hell, the NXT. I mean, we can discuss the TNA pay-per-views if you guys want to get guests on. I don't mind that.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I mean, I'd be down to do a Slammiversary or something. That'd be really cool. Those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, there you go. Like I say,
Joe Hendry teasing that Cena match.
Yeah. We can talk about it. We can maybe discuss it. Like have a couple of people on to chat about it. But as for now, like I said, we're going to be discussing all I nearly said it again. NXT pay-per-views coming in the future, just because I kind of want to get more light on NXT this year. I think it's going to be interesting to do. But yeah, like especially for Vengeance Day. Good start off to the year for the NXT pay-per-views. Then we've got Standard Deliver coming a little bit on. But for now, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up so you never miss a video by also clicking that bell. Go and subscribe to us on all of the other social media platforms. Go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and go follow us everywhere else in the world. It doesn't matter. All of our private channels, all of our personal channels will be in the description down below. Make sure you check out NXT Vengeance Day, even if you're not an NXT fan. It's going to be an absolutely amazing pay-per-view. We are on the road to WrestleMania, so we've got a couple of great episodes coming up for you next week. So, make sure you stay tuned for that. But for now, guys, I hope you have an absolutely amazing Thursday night. Peace out.
Deuces.